Checking mic. Everything's good. Alright, first thing is Yoga Sutras. Namaste. Kim Chang Siya Pavati Tataha Pratyakachatana Tikamodipya Nantaraya Pavashacham Pratyakachatana Ti Pratyakachatana Tikamodipya Pratyakachatana Tikamodipya Nantaraya Pavashacham Yem Tang Vadanantarayam Vyati Prapurata Yasate Tang Vadi Shivaram Tang Vadi Shivara Pranuitana Nana Pavananti Sivaru Padashana Mapyasyam Pavati Yatai Veshivaraha Purushaha Shuddhataha Prasananaha Kevalonupasam Kevalonupasargasatatan Yamapi Buddhuteha Pratisambedi Yaha Purushasattam Mati Gachati Purushasattam Mati Gachati. Number 1. Purusha Ityeva Mati Gachati. Something's happening outside. Okay. Namaste. What else comes to him? Thereafter comes the right knowledge of him who thinks in an inverse way, and the removal of obstacles. Whatever obstacles there be, disease and the rest, all these are removed by devotion to the Ishvara, and he comes to a side of his own real self. He has the right knowledge which sees that as the Ishvara is a self, and is undefiled and undisturbed and isolated and exempt from accidents, so he also is a self conscious of its thinking substance. All right. Next up is the Veda. Let me just situate it for tomorrow. Okay. Sutra 41 right now. Okay. Well, it's long. Short shlokas, but long. Namaste. Oh, I forgot to do something. Give me 1 second. Oh. Yeah, let's just give a ticket to somebody. Okay. Sorry about that. Music. Alright, music. Okay. Pretty good break. Here we go. Namaste. Vayo yete sahasrino ratha sasute pira ratha sasute pira kahi niyute vanan soma pitaye niyute vanan vaya van kahiyayam shukuro ayamite kanantang si sunambato kurohama shukura siyan diyan gavan shiran inundra van yu niyute batahu yang tam pibatam narang ayam bang mitra barunua sutahu soma brota brota mamedihan shrutam havam ranjana vana piduruhan turube sadasiyut tame sasrasutu no asate tang samuranjan krutang suti adityan tanunasupati sachate anavahuvaram komadu shu na satyan shivan vadyan mastam na satyan shivan vadyan tamashavinam bhakti rudran nirupayam na yataparo na nantara ada taishada purushanam bana ada taishada purushanam basu tuho shamso maltiyo ripuhu dan na porahama shavinam rayim Vishanganga samdara shama tishunuya varibodhidhamma Enendro anganga mahadapayamapi shodapa dutyabat san hi sitiro vichashwa nuiha Enendran shichan murulayanti no na naha pashajan dakam nashat Padaram Pavati Naha Puraha Inandra Ansha Pyasa Pari Saiva Pyo Apayam Karat Jato Shaturuna Vichashanui Shaturuna Vichashanui Pishive Devasa Kata Sharanutang Ma Imam Habama Edam Bahilni Shui Datang Divrum Vo Matumam Ayam Shunahotereshu Matusarahu Edam Bibata Kamiyam Enundrajieshu Tua Marudgano Devasah Pusharatayah Pishive Mama Shurutang Habam Amumbitame Naditame Devitame Sarasvati Ampuranshasatang Ivan Samasi Parashasati Mamamba Nasakurati Devan Pishivan Sarasvati Shritang Yum Shui Devyam Shunahotereshu Matasavan Parajam Devi Didi de Tui Naha Imam Brahma Sarasvati Drushasavang Jan Panjini Vati Yang Te Manama Kurata Samadang Ratang Vari Priyang Deveshu Juhuvati Pratang Yajinyasya Shamanpuvan Yuvan Midang Purunui Mahe Aganim Chan Haviyavan Hanam Diyavan Nah Puratibi Imam Sitra Madiya Dibisa Purushama Yajinyam Deveshu Yachachatangam Bhamupasatamaduru Devah Sidanantu Yajiniyah Ihadiyan Zomapitaya Namaste. Therapeutic. Wow. O Vayu, come to us with all the 1,000 chariots that are thine, team born to drink the Soma juice. Drawn by thy team, O Vayu, come. To thee is offered this the pure. Thou visitest the oppressor's house. Inundra and Vayu, drawn by teams, ye heroes, come today and drink of the bright juice when blent with milk. This Soma hath been shed for you, law strengtheners, Mitra Varunor. Listen ye here to this my call. Both kings will never injure aught seat them in their supremest home, the 1,000-pillared Brahmani based. Fed with oblation, sovereign kings, Adityas, lords of liberal gifts, they wait on him whose life is true. With kind Nasatyas and with steeds come Ashvins Rudras to the house that will protect its heroes well. Such wealthy gods as none afar nor standing nigh to us may harm, ye no malicious mortal fool. As such, O long for Ashvins, lead us on to wealth of varied sort, wealth that shall bring us room and rest. Verily Inundra, conquering all, driveth even mighty fear away, for firm is he and swift to act. Inundra, be gracious unto us, sin shall not reach us afterward, and good shall be before us still. From all the regions of the world, let Inundra send security, the foe subdue, swift to act. O all ye gods, come hitherward, hear this mine invocation, seat yourselves upon the sacred grass. Among the Shrunahotras, strong for you this sweet gladdening draught, drink ye of this lightsome juice. Ye Maruts led by Inundra, gods with Bhushan for your bountiest, hear all of you this call of mine. Best mother, best of rivers, best of goddesses, Saraswati, we are, as 'twere, of no repute. Dear mother, give thou us renown. In thee, Saraswati, divine, all generations have their stay. Be glad with Shrunohotra's sons, O goddess, grant us progeny. Enrich with sacrifice, accept Saraswati, these prayers of ours, thoughts which Gurutta Samadas, beloved of gods, bring, Holy One, to thee. You who bless, sacrifice, go forth, for rarely we choose you both, and Agni who conveys our gifts. This our effectual sacrifice, reaching the sky, shall heaven and earth present unto the gods today. In both your laps, ye guileless ones, the holy gods shall sit them down today to drink the soma here. Okay. Next up is the Upanishads. Okay. Today's chapter 16. Okay, just two short shlokas. Namaste. 파사는 또 힘강으로 그리시마흐 프라스타보 말슈어 우드기 타흐 샤라트 파티하로 해마는 또 니타나 메타드 바이랑 잠부르투슈 프로타무 상양 에바 메타드 바이랑 잠부르투슈 프로탐 베다 비랑 자티 프라자양 파슈필브라흐마 발자세나 살바마 유라티 지오그지바티 브라마하는 프라자양 파슈필파바티 마하는 길 디아누 돌는나 마하는 길 디아돌는나 마하는 길 디아뚜 오케이 sorry 마하는 길 디알뚜는나 니는 따뜻하드 브라타무 Namaste. Iti Shodashaha Kanandoha Spring is a Hingankara, summer is a Prasatava, the rainy season is a Nudagita, autumn is a Pratihara, winter is a Nitana. This is the Vairaja Saman as woven upon the seasons. He who knows thus this Vairaja Saman as woven upon the seasons shines like a king with offspring, cattle, and eminence, in sacred knowledge, reaches a full length of life, lives long, becomes great in offspring and cattle, great in fame. One should not find fault with the seasons, that is his rule. Okay. Next up is Ramayana. And that this takes time to load. After Ramayana, there's Kalki Purana. If I have more time, I'll read what is Śrīmad Bhagavatam. Okay, so that's chapter 20. It's pretty short. Right, that's good. Namaste. Bimshahu, Saigahu. That's truth one. Rangashal dulo. Bishevan mitrasia pashuitama. Muhul tamiban diho samjinyahu. Samjinyaban nidama brabit. 无那说的沙白说，me ramo rangi balo janahe，那有的他yogi ya damasya pashyami saha rakusha saihe，yamakusho hinui senang yasyaham patiri shivarahe，anayang sahito katevan有的他ham。달리샤 짜라이흐 이메 슈랑 시장 비크라는 땅 프로티양 마스트라 비샤라다흐 요기양 라쿠쇼가노이 라쿠쇼가노이 리오드탐 라쿠쇼가노이 리오드툼 나 라맘 Neto Marhasi Ahamevan Tanushipanui Goputang Samaramultani Yabat Branwan Tarishoyami Tavad Yotosia Disha Charaihe Nilbekna Pratacharyan sang bhavishyati surakushuitam aham tatra kamishyami na naramam neto mahasi. Pano yakarta bidya shechang na chang patati balama na chang sutra bala sami yukuto na chang yututa bishan radahu na chang sao rakushasam yogiyahu kuto yututang hi rakushasahu pipura yukuto hi rameno muhul tamapi notusahe jibitum Munishal dulam na ramam neto marhasi yadi pan rakavam brahmana neto michachasi suvratang jaturam gasama yukatam mayang saha jatam nayam shashitui vai shoy sahasran nui Vaisho Jantasya Mama Kaushikam Gurutya Chrenota Pandi Tashijang Gurutya Chrenota Pandi Tashijang Yam Na Ramam Neto Mahasi Chaturno Matamajanam Hi Puritiha Paramika Mama Jeshitwe Taima Pratane Jana Ramam Neto Mahasi Impiriam. Let me just, Rakasha Sang Sete Jan Kasya Putran Shejan Ke Jate Gatam Pramano Ke Jaitana Rakashananti Munipumgavan Gatam Jan Pratikaltabiam Deshwam Rameno Rakushasam Mama Gaiban Balai Brahmana Mayang Ban Gota Yotinam Saivam Me Shamsa Bhagavana Gatam Deshwam Mayang Ranue Sutan Tabiam Dushita Pavanam Vidyotusikatan Hi Rakushasang Tasya tad vachanam shrutevam vishevam mitro pyapha shotam Paula satya vamshaprapha Paula satya vamshaprapavo Ravano Nama Rakushasaha Sa Brahmano Tatata Parasatrai Lokyam Tatata Parasatrai Lokyam Bhatate Purusham Mahabalo Mahabiryo Rakushasae Bahu Pivrataha Shruyate Jam Maharajam Ravano Rakushasatipaha Sakusha Tidavai Sakusha Devaishra Sakusha Devaishra Vana Pratan Putro Vishravaso Muneha Yadang Na Kalu Yajinyasya Vikna Kaltang Mahabalaha Dana Samchodi down to Rakusha Jan Mahabalao Mari Jashijan Suban Hushijan Yajinya Viknam Garishyataha Ityukuto Munina Tena Rajovan Jan Munim Tadang Nahi Shakutosami Samgrame Sitatum Tasya Durant Manaha Santavam Prasadam Thalmajinya Guru Sheva Mama Putrake Mama Jaivan Repapa Gyasya Daivatam Hi Pavana Guruha Devadana Baganan Taivan Yakushwaha Pataganan Pataga Pananaga Na Shakatang Ravanam Sodtuam Kim Punalmanavan Yuti Santu Viryapatam Viryama Datate Yuti Ravanaha Tena Janham Na Shakutosami Samyodutum Tasya Palaiha Sabalo Van Munishirashutva Sahito Van Mama Tamajaiha Gatama Piaparama Gatama Piamara Prakyam Samgrama no Makovidama Palam Me Danayam Brahmana Naiva Dasyami Putrakama Atan Kalopamao Yutute Sutao Sunando Pasunanda Yoha Yajinya Viknakarao Tao Te Naiva Dasyami Putrakama Mari Jashijan Shubhan Hushijan Viryavanantao Sushikushwitao Tayoraniataram Yodutum Yang Siami Sasuhurud Ganoha Aniatan Debanu Neshuyomi Pavanantam Sabanan Tavaha Iti Narapatija Repana de Vijanandaram Sushikasutam Sumahana Vivesha Manyuha Suhutan Ivan Makhegniranjya Sikataha Samapava Dujujivalito Mahashwi Bahaniha Namaste. Itiyan Shwen Shri Madarama Yanwe Parami Kiye Andikan Vie Pandakan Due Vimshaha Saigaha. Okay, that was fun. Canto 20. Hearing the aforesaid request of Vishvamitra, Dasharatha remained senseless, as it were, for an hour or so, and regaining his consciousness, spoke as follows. My lotus-eyed Rama is less than 16 years old. I do not perceive his capacity to contend with the Rakshasas. Here is my army, one Akashohunui strong, whose maintainer and controller I am. Marching with it, I shall wage war with those ogres. These heroic and valiant retainers of mine are skilled in the use of missiles, and are capable of fighting with hosts of ogres. But you should not take away Rama. I shall myself guard your sacrifice, bow in hand, and shall contend with the Rakshasas in the van of a battle so long as I breathe. Fully guarded, the pursuit of the aforesaid observance will be rid of obstacles. I shall go thither. You should not take away Rama. A child and untrained, he cannot estimate the strength or weakness of the enemy. He is neither equipped with the strength of missiles nor skilled in warfare. Besides, he is no match for the Rakshasas, for the ogres are given to treacherous fighting. Disunited from Rama, I cannot really survive even for an hour or so, O tiger among ascetics. You should not take away Rama. If, on the other hand, you are keen to take him, O Brahmana of noble vows, take him with me, as well as with my army consisting of 4 parts. 60 millennia have elapsed since I was born, O Vishvamitra, and this boy has been begotten with hardship. You ought not to take away Rama. Of the 4 sons, my supreme affection is truly speaking fastened on the eldest, in whom piety is predominant. You ought not to take away Rama. Of what prowess are those Rakshasas, and whose sons are they? Again, who are they, and of what size? Nay, who protect them, and how can resistance be offered to those Rakshasas given to treacherous fighting by Rama, or my forces, or by myself, O holy Brahmana? Tell me everything, O venerable sage. What position should be taken up by me on the battlefield opposite to those ogres of wicked intent? For the Rakshasas are proud of their prowess. Hearing his above-quoted speech, the sage Vishvamitra replied, There is an ogre, Ravana by name, descended in the line of the sage Pulasadya. Having been granted a boon by Brahma and followed by numerous Rakshasas, and possessed of extraordinary strength and great prowess, he oppresses the 3 worlds to the utmost degree. Nay, Ravana, the ruler of Rakshasas, O great king, is known to be a son of the sage Vishravana and a real brother of Kubera. When the mighty ogre does not personally interfere with the sacrifice, those 2 mighty ogres, Maricha and Zubahu, actually cause obstruction in that sacrifice even as directed by him. Thus addressed by the aforesaid sage, the king then replied to the hermit, I am not at all able to stand in an encounter with that evil-minded fellow. Celebrated as you are, O knower of what is right, show you your favor to my juvenile son, as well as to myself, a poor luck as I am, for you are a god as well as worthy of adoration to me. Not even gods, demons, and Ganantaivas, Yakushas, birds and reptiles are able to withstand Ravana on the battlefield. How then can men do so? The said Ravana, truly speaking, takes away the prowess of the valiant on the battlefield. I am therefore not capable of contending with him, or with his forces, even though accompanied by my troops or united with my sons, O jewel among sages. I shall not therefore part in any case whatsoever with my juvenile and favorite son, who looks like a god, and is unacquainted with wars, O holy Brahmana. If Maricha and Subahu, the 2 notorious sons of Sunanda and Upasunanda, who are full of prowess and highly trained, and appear as death on the battlefield, interfere with your sacrificial performance, I shall under no circumstance hand over my pet son to you. I shall proceed with hosts of my relations to give battle to either of the 2. Otherwise, my relations, I shall crave your indulgence. A fierce rage possessed Vishvamitra, the foremost of Brahmanas, as a sequel to the above incoherent talk of Dasharatha. Like a fire well fed with oblations and sprinkled over with ghee in the course of a sacrifice, the fire of anger in Vishvamitra grew violent. Thus ends Canto 20 in the Balagananda of the glorious Ramayana of Valmiki, the work of a Rishi and the oldest epic. Alright, the next chapter is going to be really interesting. His wrath is not that long. Okay, so next up is Kalki Purana, and I'm flying right now, and I'm not. I feel like I'm being lazy, but I'm flying through the studies. Okay, so Kalki Purana is the last one. Hasn't even been 45 minutes yet. And if I have more time, I'll do another study. I kind of want to do this, the wrath. Should I do that now? Should I do 2 chapters of Ram? Let me look at Kalki Purana and see how long Kalki Purana is. If it's short, then I'll do another chapter of Ramayana, because I like Ramayana. Yeah, I'm not human, so I love Ramayana. Loving Mahabharata and Ramayana, the first sign of you not being a human being. You're not a human being. As luck would have it, luck is another name for God. God has many, many, many names. As luck would have it, I have a short chapter in Kalki Purana. So what I'm gonna do is read this chapter of Ramayana. So now it's chapter 21. Yep. All right. Yeah, it's only 22 verses long, so I want to do it. Here we go. Namaste. Ekavimshaha salgaha. Tata churutavang pachanam tasya sneha pariya gula kosharama. Samanyuha kaushiko vankyam paratyo vancha mahi patima. Pulvamaltam paratishrutyam paratijinyam hatumichachasi. Rakhavana mayokotoyam kulasyam syam vipariyayaha. Yadidam te kushamam rajanan kamishuyo mi yathagatam mithya paratijinyaha kakutasatha sukhi bhava suhrada varataha. Tasyam roshapari tasyam Pishevam mitrasyam ti mataha. Chachala vasutang karatasanam devanam japayam mahat. Virasataru pam tu vijinyaya jagat saivam mahanurushuiha. Virupatim suvarato tiro pasishutvo bhagyamabravit. Ekashevam kunam Kule Jantahe Sakushod Taima Ivan Parahe Trutiman Suvratahe Shriman Na Taimam Hatumahasi Tereshu Lokeshu Vikyanto Taimatama Iti Rakavahe Seva Taimam Pratipadya Seva Na Taimam Potumahasi Pratishrutya Karishuyoti Ukutam Pakyama Kuibatahe Ishutva Pultavato Puyat Tasamad Ramam Pisaljayam Kuratan Sataram Pan Nainam Shakushuyananti Rakushosanhe Kuputam Kushika Puturanu Jivalanena Murutam Yatan Esha Vigarahavan Taima Esha Viryavatam Parahe Esha Vidyantiko Loke Tapasashichan Parayanam Esho Sutran Vivitan Latati Trailokie Sachara Jare Naina Maniahe Puman Patati Na Jan Patusyananti Kachana Na Devan Arshayahe Kachinana Maran Na Jan Rakushosanhe Ganantaiva Yakusho Prabarahe Sakinen Nara Moharaga Ganantaiva Yakusho Prabarahe Sakinen Nara Mahoraga Saipan Sutra Nui Gurushan Shivasyan Putran Parataima Mikan Paramatai Mikan Kaushikan Yang Puran Tatatan Yadan Rangyam Prashan Sati Tepi Putran Gurushan Shivasyan Prajapati Sutan Naikarupan Mahaviryan Tiputamananto Jayabaha Jayan Jan Supraphan Jaiva Dakushakanye Sumatyame Te Su Tesutranui Shasutranui Shatam Paramapha Savaram Panchang Shatam Sutaimulape Sutamurulape Jayam Labutavaran Paran Vataya Surasainyana Maparameyana Rupinaha Suprapajayam Suprapajanayat Suprapajanayatja Suprapajanayat Suprapajanayatja Pi Putran Panchashatam Punaha Samharan Nama Dultaishon Duragraman Paliyasaha Tani Jansatranui Patatiesho Yatavat Kushikat Majaha Apoevanom Janane Jagato Puyashijan Talmabit Tenasian Munimukyasian Talmajinasian Mahatmanaha Na Kinchidasatya Biditam Putam Paviyam Jan Rakava Ebambirio Mahatejan Bishivam Mitro Mahayashan Na Ramagamane Rajan Samshayam Ganantul Mahasi Teshwam Nigra Hanue Shakataha Savayam Cha Koshika Tamajaha Tava Putra Hitai Taya Teva Mupatia Pia Chate Iti Municha Munibachanat Prasanachiteto Rakuvurasha Pashichan Mumudan Pantivan Agriyahu Gamanama Pirurochan Rakavasya Pratitayashaha Kushika Tamajaya Buddhatiya Namaste. Alright. Incredibly therapeutic. Ityang Shwen Shri Madhuramayana Palamiki Adikavye Palaganandue Ekavimshahu Salgahu Namaste. Alright, this chapter is gonna be fun. So what but I'll read the translation and then I'll explain why it's a really good chapter. Some people might have an idea already. And Sanskrit had this in it, so I could read Canto 21. Otherwise, I cannot say Canto 21. Hearing the reply quoted above of Dasharatha, marked with faltering accents, expressive of parental affection, Vishvamitra, full of rage, made the following answer to the king. Having first promised to grant the object solicited by me, you want to go back upon your word. This is unworthy of the science of Rakhu, and will prove to be the ruin of this race. If this is bearable to you, I shall return as I came. With your promise falsified, O scion of Kakutistha, remain at ease in the midst of your relations. When Vishvamitra was full of wisdom, was seized with fury, the whole earth shook, and a great fear entered the mind of gods. Perceiving the entire world to be greatly alarmed indeed, the great and wise Rishi Vasishtha of noble vows addressed the following words to the king. Born in the line of the Ikshvakus, you are the highest virtue personified, as it were. Full of firmness and observing excellent vows as you do, your majesty ought not to abandon righteousness. A scion of Rakhu, celebrated in the three worlds as one whose mind is given to piety, resort to your innate character. You ought not to embrace unrighteousness. Most of the merit that is accrued to you from sacrificial performances and works of public utility will ensue if you fail to redeem the promise made, having solemnly declared that you will do a thing. Therefore, son Rama, the ogres will not be able to overpower him, no matter whether he has mastered archery or not, so long as he is protected by Vishvamitra, as nectar was guarded by fire. Vishvamitra is piety incarnate. He is the foremost of those endowed with prowess. He is superior in learning and is a great repository of asceticism. He knows the different types of missiles in all the three worlds, including the mobile and immobile creation. Inhabiting them, no other man knows him, nor shall any creatures know him, neither gods, nor any rishis, nor again the Rakshasas, nor the foremost of the Gandharvas and Yakushas, including the Kinnaras and great Nagas. All the missiles were born as the most pious sons of Guru Shiva, and were gifted to Vishvamitra while he ruled over a kingdom. The aforesaid sons of Guru Shiva, born of the daughters of Dakushu, were possessed of varied forms, endowed with extraordinary prowess and full of splendor, and brought victory. Jaya and Subrapaya, the two aforesaid daughters of Dakushu, who were possessed of well-proportioned limbs, gave birth to 100 most effulgent missiles as well as weapons. Jaya, who has secured a boon, got 50 excellent sons, possessed of infinite glory and devoid of form, for the destruction of asuric forces. Suprapa, too, brought forth 50 more sons, exceptionally powerful, hard to overpower, difficult to assail, and known by the name of Samharas. The son of Gati, present before you, who is conversant with the principles of righteousness, not only knows those missiles as one ought to, but is also capable of evolving new ones. Hence nothing relating to the past and the future is unknown, O scion of Raku, to this high-souled jewel among the sages, who knows everything concerning Taima. Of such might is the highly renowned and exceptionally glorious Vishvamitra. You ought not to entertain any doubt about sending Shri Rama, O king. Though capable of punishing the Rakshasas himself, it is for the sake of doing good to your son that the sage Vishvamitra has sought you and solicited him as alone. Delighted in mind by the aforesaid speech of the sage Vasishtha, King Dasharatha, the foremost of kings whose fame was spread far and wide, while rejoiced and mentally acquiesced in the act of sending Shri Rama in order to placate Vishvamitra. Thus ends Canto 21 in the Balakananda of the glorious Ramayana of Valmiki, the book of Arashi and the oldest epic. Alright, so that was really fun. So I'll tell you now why, this is a really good chapter for me. So in this chapter, I'll just use the translation part. I already read the Sanskrit. Vishvamitra is displaying his wrath verbally. And he warns, he starts to describe himself in the third person because he was so angry. This is the key part. It says, the ogres will not be able to overpower him, Rama, the king's son, no matter whether he has mastered archery or not, so long as he is protected by Vishvamitra. That is himself, he's talking about himself in the third person. As nectar was guarded by fire, and then he talks about himself. He knows the different... all the missiles were born as the most pious sons of Grisha Shiva and were gifted to Vishvamitra while he ruled over a kingdom. So, he's separated from like the personificate weapon gods by like first or second degree. He's he's received all weapon gods, like god of weapon. We're not even talking guns or grenades, or we're talking like trillions and trillions of guns. We're talking not just one grenade, we're talking trillions of grenades. That's what he means when he talks about missiles. The missiles are, if the situation calls for it, it'll respond to it. So if say someone wants to destroy the earth using nuclear bombs, the Brahma weapon or the weapons of the mind will do the exact opposite, and with the exact energy power equaling the nuclear missiles. So the missile, the energy of the missiles itself, the missiles of the mind, their power fluctuates depending on the scenarios, depending on the case, and of the user as well. And Vishvamitra is like separated from weapon gods by like one degree. He was gifted these things by No, he received it from the Creator himself. He received the weapon gods from the Creator himself. So Vishvamitra is not, he's like pretty much he's a weapon god himself, basically. And the king didn't trust him. So Vishvamitra, a weapon god, he became mad. And he's a Brahmana, which means he's non-violent. He's an intellectual, is what I'm trying to say. He's like, he's not just a first-class wizard. He's like the king of all wizards. His name, once again, is Vishvamitra, and this was written 1.5 million years ago. So hopefully you have an idea who he is. So yeah. And he's displaying his wrath. He's giving all these warnings, talking about himself. And what that does is it makes people in my vicinity scared to enunciate. Because, this is what he said 1.5 million years ago. And I read it in Sanskrit. Which means, it's like a really, really bad recording playing from 1.5 million years ago. Yeah. That's how powerful Aryan Sanskrit is. So all these things about missiles and being able to destroy and protect the good and all that stuff, it's being heard in this vicinity because of my having read it. So that's why this is an exciting chapter. I hope everybody understands why. So basically, Vishvamitra was displaying his wrath. And me having reciting it in Sanskrit, and this happened 1.5 million years ago, it's like playing that movie as if it's happening here. Because it is in Aryan Sanskrit. That's how powerful Aryan Sanskrit is. That's why I am non-violent. I'll stay non-violent, because everything else becomes barbaric at that point. It's like, I could get rid of all the bad elements of the world by just reading Ramayana, as much as I can. It's real. This is real. All right, so I'm going to take a break and finish with Kalki Purana. It's pretty good timing right now. After that, I'm going to chant. And hopefully YouTube does not block my audio this time. I tested it to see if it was my phone. It wasn't my phone. It made me matter. So, let's see. Let's see if YouTube is nice to me again. Yeah, I messed up, But I'm living in a really bad world. And have you seen some YouTube shorts? Like this, that's what's happening in the world. And that's what happens to me when I go out in the world. When somebody wants to harass me, I'll respond accordingly. Unless you pay me not to respond. I really need the money, so I could do that. So next time, if a random stranger on the street wants to harass me, I'll give it to them non-violently. I'll just say Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna until their entire race disappears or something like that. And even if they're Asians, I don't care what race you are. If you're harassing me, my object at that point is to get rid of your entire race. Period. With Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. I have a weapon now, which is Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. It's a weapon of the mind. Humans don't care. Alright, here we go. chapter 18. You know, maybe I'll just say chapter 18 here because I don't have the English version here. And then when I get to the English translation, I'll do something else. Anyway, this is a short chapter, 25 shlokas long. Long shlokas though. Okay. Namaste. Shutang uvangchang etadvaha katitam viprang vratam trailokya vishrutam Attaha param kalki karatam kaima yat shurunutam dvijang shaman pale pasatastasyan sasara parivatasarah piati tang prataraputras vajinyasti samanbanti piha prataraputras vajinyati samanban prataraputras vajinyati samanban tipiha saha shamanpale shushupe shirenui sapapana kachat varaiha patanga tvajati chitran patanga tvajati chitran patanga tvajati chitran. Wow. Patanga tvajati chitran patanga tvajati chitran tuyoiriang tenendrasiang marabati patanga tvajachitram patanga tvajachitram tuyoiria tenendrasiang marabati patanga tvajachitram tuyoiria tenendrasiang marabati Yatra shirta shashirtuiti iltanam samanpavaha shamanpale pavat murutiol mokushaha kushuitan kalkera kalkasyan padashrayant vanopavana sanantanana kusumasangan kulaiha Panopavana sanantanana kusuma sangan kulaiha. Vanopavana sanantanana kusuma sangan kulaiha. Vanopavana sanantanana kusuma sangan kulaiha shopitam shamampalam gramam manye mokushopradam puvi tatra kalkiha purasatari nom nayana nananda valdetanaha padamayan ramayan kamam rarama jagati patiha Surati papradatetena kamagena ratena vai Nadi paivata kunjeshu Devi peshu parayang mudang Ramamano vishana padama ramadya pirama patiha Divanisham na bubute trai no shichang kamalam patoha Padma mukha modasaro si tuvang sopa pogi Padma mukha godara Padma mukha modasaro si tuvang sopa pogi. One more. Padma mukha modasaro si tuvang sopa pogi 수빌라 사바 사흐 브라푸다니라는 들이 브라푸다니라는 드라마누이 브라캉 브라푸다니라는 드라마누이 브라캉 셰 그르 구하 비셰슈어 브라비베샹 까르키흐 바드마 두 바드마 샤타루 바루 방 라마 짱 비유 셔칼라 빌라상 마팀 브라비시덤 기리가 흐바레 때 나리 사스라 꿀리 때 스바강 땅 뜨바강 땅 sorry 바드마 바팀 브라쿠슈여 구하니 비시덤 라는 뜸 마노지냐 브라비베샤 파시짱 뜻 라마 발라 유타 사마는 비땅 따뜻 파시짱 뜻 따뜻 파시짱 뜻 까땅 까르킴 마호그라강 아마 따뜨레는드라니 로트 발라가흐바라는 때 따뜨렌드라니 로트 발라가흐바라는 때 가는 땅 피라트 마프라티마 마피리 샤무 가는 땅 피라트 마프라티마 피리 샤무 까르긴짱 들으실트방 나바니라다 밤 따따흐 세티땀 브라스따라 바는 모보 브라스따라 바는 모모함 라마 사키 피허 브라마다 니랑 알뜨땅 사키 피허 브라마다 피랑 알뜨땅 빌로카야는 디샤마 꼴랑 그쇼이 바드마 샤타 쇼파마나 비셔는 너찌땅 비셔는 너찌뜨땅 나 마파오 스마 짱알뜨땅 푸메오 리카는 띠 니자까지 잘레나 까르김 슈감땀 꽃짝공공 꾸메는 가스투 리강 피스투 다다그라 마그레 닐마양 짱링은기양 나나마 파바트 라마 깔라라 빠빠라 수두바는티 까말디땅 땀 흐르다에 니타야 티아뜨바 니자랑은까나 까라노이흐 니자랑은 까라노이흐 프라푸지양 따스타오 비셔는 누어 가루너 바사는 낭 구셔누어뜨 사무뜨탕야 루로당 라마 깔라 비나흐 까늘터니팜 스바나 탐 흐르도빠구 흐르도빠구 덤 나뿌나흐 발라피암 까말디테티아하 하레 바라시당 바드마피 닐무지양 니장은가 푸쇼 시작가랑 투리빠떨레 빌라사무 가는 턴짱 가스투리까야 비니람 까맘 니하는 뜸 시바타 무페티양 발라바티남 갈라야 구슈이 누에 구쇼노남 하리라 알뜨다바는 투흐 까마 프라푸라양 사사라 마티에 깔키흐 브라양누암 수라토트 사바양 따흐 사다레노트 마피탐 사다레노트 마파팀 마누지냐흐 까레노보 유타빠팀 야테유흐 사나는다 파반 비셔다누브르뜨땅 바네슈 라마흐 파리폴너까마흐 바이프라자케 짜이트라라테 수포시뱀 수나는다네 마는다라 까는다라는데 레메사 라마 피루다라떼장 라테나 파스바트 카가메나 까르키흐 바드마 무카브자 무르타파나 마트토 바드마 무카브자 무르타파나 마트토 라마 사마 링은가 반나바 사랑은기 라마 사망은기나 링 사마 링가 라마 사마 링은가 라마 사마 링은가 나바 사랑은기 비랑은가 나남 꼬짝꿍은 꾸마 그또 라티프라상은게 비파리 따유크따흐 무케 비다시뚜어 라사나 바시시뚜 모다흐 사 까를길나 히 베다 데하무 라마흐 사마나흐 보로쇼트 따맘땀 바쿠쇼자마티에 비니타야 티라흐 파라스파라 실레쇼노 자타하산 램을 묶고는 담 빌라사츠 차리라흐 따따흐 사로바람 뜨바랑 스트리오 야유흐 글라마즈바라흐 뿌리에노 때나 까르키나 바나는 딸에 비하리노 사라흐 브라비시아 바드마양 비모하루 바양 다양 잘람 다둘바랑 은가나흐 가레노보 여탕 자가무 이티하 유바티리랑 로카나 타흐 사 까르키흐 뿌리야 유바티리 타흐 바드마양 뿌리야 유바티 파리 타흐 바드마양 라마양 디아흐 니자라마나 비노다이흐 시쿠셔 야무루 로카 발간 시쿠셔 야무루 로카 발간 시쿠셔 야무루 로카 발간 자야티 비부타 팔뜻땅 샤문팔레 바수데바흐 예 쉐르는 바는띠 바다는띠 파바짜뚜랑 티아야는띠 사는따흐 사당 까르케흐 쉐리 부르쇼트 따마시양 짜리땀 깔너머르땀 사다라흐 대슈음 노 수카야띠아얌 수라리 볼당 시양 필랑샴 비낭 삼상아라흐 파리모짜난짱 파라마나는다 머르땀은 포니피테흐 파라마나는다 머르땀은 포니테흐 Namaste. Wow. Namaste. Iti Shri Kalki Puran Wanu Bhagavate Bhavishuye Durati Yamshe Kalki Valnonam Nama Ashitadashotya Yahu. Namaste. Oh. Now I'm starting to get tired. Alright, so let me mark this done. The translation. Alright, let me just double check here. Yep, 18 I just did. There we go. After this is chanting. Yeah, I found out that if you're not healthy, it's not good to do yoga every day. I'm gonna do it, 3 days a week, 2 to 4 times a week. Maybe once a week. If you're, if you just want to meet the minimum requirement, once a week. Once or twice a week is minimum, I think. I don't know. Shutasat, O Brahmanas, I have thus described the vow known as Rukmanuni Vrata. I will now narrate more pastimes of Kalki. Kalki continued to reside in the village of Shamampala, along with his brothers, sons, other relatives, and associates for 1,000 years. The entire village of Shamampala, which was as good as the heavenly planets, appeared very beautiful with its assembly houses, gates, raised platforms, and flags flapping in the breeze that had been placed here and there. Anyone who gave up his material body at Shamampala was free from all simple reactions and awarded shelter at the lotus feet of Kalki. Thus the village of Shamampala, which was profusely decorated with blooming flowers, pious trees, forests, and gardens, became a holy place that granted liberation from material existence. The master of the universe, Kalki, who was especially pleasing to the eyes and minds of women, happily resided with Padmavati and Rama in the village of Shamampala. The Lord would mount his celestial chariot, which had been given to him by Inandra, and periodically visit holy rivers, mountains, groves, and islands. In this way he would enjoy pleasure pastimes with Padmavati and Rama. He thus appeared to be a most perfect passionate male, afflicted by transcendental lust. Indeed, the Lord of Rama became so absorbed in thought of his consorts that he completely forgot whether it was day or night. One day, Kalki was very fond of relishing the sweet nectar emanating from the lotus-like face of Padma, and was decorated with a nice blue sapphire, entered a mountain cave. When Padma was like a golden lotus flower, and Rama was like a pot of nectar, so their husband, entering a cave with many beautiful women, they followed him in expectation of enjoying conjugal bliss. Padma saw Kalki enjoying the association of many beautiful women, who were as charming as herself. However, upon seeing this, Padma became stunned, so that she appeared to be a stone statue. Rama and her companions, anxious, surveyed the scene as tears welled up in their eyes. Padma normally appeared to be as attractive as hundreds of lotus flowers, but upon seeing her husband engaged in this way, she lamented and thus lost her luster. With her tears that had turned black due to being mixed with her eye ointment, Padma made a drawing of Kalki on the ground with her toe. She also drew his parrot with the kumukuma that had been applied to her breasts, and she made a border with musk. The sweet-speaking Rama, who was afflicted by the arrows of Cupid, placed Kalki within her heart and worshipped him with offerings of flowers. She then fell to the ground, being overburdened by distress and lamentation. After a short while, she got up and cried loudly like a female peacock. Being unable to embrace Kalki within her heart, she became agitated by unrequited passion, saying, "O Lord Hari, please be kind to me." Padma took off her ointment and rolled on the ground so that her body was soon covered with dust, although her throat appeared bluish because of the musk. Indeed, it appeared as if she had assumed the form of Lord Shiva to vanquish Cupid. Understanding the feelings of his poor beloved wives, knowing that they wanted to perform conjugal pastimes with him, Kalki, the friend of the distressed, approached them so that he could fulfill their desires. As female elephants meet the king of elephants, the Lord's consorts jubilantly greeted him within that forest, and thus fulfilled their cherished desire. Thereafter, Kalki, along with his consorts, mounted an effulgent celestial chariot that coursed through the sky. In this way, they enjoyed amorous pastimes in the Vaipraja forest, Kuvera forest, and a cave at Manandara. Kalki enjoyed the nectar of Padma's lotus-like face and took pleasure in tightly embracing Rama. Thus he became smeared with the kumkuma from their breasts as they affectionately bit his body. The Lord became so overwhelmed by love for his consorts that he appeared to have lost all control over his body. These two equally beautiful and gentle women embraced the Hari, the supreme enjoyer, to their chest, and thus felt transcendental bliss. The hairs of their bodies stood on end due to transcendental ecstasy, and this sight made everyone laugh with glee. After enjoying pastimes of love in many forests, the Lord's consorts became exhausted, and so they went to a nearby lake with their beloved Lord Kalki. As female elephants throw water on the king of elephants, so the uniquely charming consorts of the Lord entered the water of the lake and began to splash water their husband's transcendental body. All glories to Lord Kalki, the master of the demigods, the incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who takes pleasure in sporting with his consorts, and who can only be approached by those who have imbibed the mood of unalloyed devotional service. By performing wonderful pastimes of his beloved consorts at the village of Shamampalam. I think they spelled it wrong. Kalki satisfied everyone. Those who are very fortunate will hear about, sing, and meditate upon the nectarian characteristics of Kalki. For the pure devotees of the Lord, apart from the service of Lord Murari, anything considered the most wonderful by the materialists, even liberation from the ocean of material existence, appears to be very insignificant. Thus ends the translation of the 32nd chapter of Sri Kalki Purana, named Kalki Balno Nam. What is that translated? The pastimes of Kalki. Yeah, that's it. Alright, so I'm done with the studies for today. It's a pretty good study. I'm tired. I'm gonna have lunch or brunch, and then I will chant. So chanting in about an hour from now, and then I'll head into the city. I'll chant in public. And once again, I hope YouTube is nice to me. Thank you very much. Nice. Namaste. I hope YouTube leaves my volume at normal. Whatever that means. It's not normal, right? It hasn't been normal for the past 7 days. So, thank you. Namaste.